Welcome to the RBV25 second show. You know, that's the first thing I'm gonna say. I'm gonna stop trying to say because I know that the people didn't people had some comments about it. So what are we gonna talk about this week? We're gonna go over the last week's picks. They did really well. The lock of the week. We're gonna go over the dope of the days and the letters to Robbie V that I received from a couple fans. We're gonna go over college football week 0. USC defense. What were you guys doing last week? If you weren't playing defense, I'll tell you that. I'll go to some week 1 thoughts, like the NFL, and we're gonna go to, of course, the long and awaited wonk, the wonk of the weeks, and we'll go over the MVPs. There's only one MVP this week, but they deserve it. All right, I'm also gonna go over the what I think of BC against Northern Illinois. The answer might surprise you, but we're all going to get into that. So let's go over last week's picks. Last week I picked Hawaii to cover. They did. Well, that's another one. And I think they played Hawaii played really well, and Vanderbilt clearly wasn't ready to play. It did look like they were going to curb stomp them in the first quarter of the game, but Hawaii got their act together, and they kept moving. And they were moving the ball, and Vandy's defense couldn't do a fucking thing. They couldn't stop anyone towards the end of the game. They were pretty lucky that it took Hawaii so little to get going. I mean, so long to get going. Notre Dame, Navy. Navy came out and they didn't do anything. It was just awful. It was a bad performance. Robbie V doesn't approve this type of tomfoolery or Bush League performances. I mean, I couldn't even believe it. They couldn't stop anyone. I mean, they couldn't stop Notre Dame when they ran the ball. They couldn't stop Notre Dame when they passed the ball. They couldn't stop the freaking, the ant farm located in Dublin from stealing their freaking Gatorade. I mean, it really wasn't a good game for the people. And I really feel bad for the Native fans who went out to, to Ireland to see that game. It was rough. And the third and the final pick, first off, the lock of the week hit. So let's be happy about that, USC and San Jose State went over. The people love it. And, like I said, USC's defense it's trash. I know they brought in a lot of transfers. I know they brought in a lot of players that can, they really liked, but they're awful. I mean, they can't stop Hingham High, Holbrook High, Situate, Cohasset, Caribou Main High. I don't know. I mean, they're not playing well. They need to be better. I don't really understand what is going on with USC's defense. San Jose State, I mean, they got a good offense, but they're not winning the national championship anytime soon. But I appreciate them for bringing the first win for the lock of the week. We'll get to my lock of the week for this week 1 later on in the show. All right, so we're gonna get to our first dope of the day segment today. All right, so this dope of the day for people who don't live outside of Boston, for people who live outside of Boston. Last Sunday night was basically it was time to ride, basically, for all the young fellas and the young kids. They went to, basically, in no particular order, they rioted at the freaking South Bay Shopping Center. I guess, the sale at Target wasn't, doing well. And, there was a bunch of fights there, and people got arrested. And then there was a bunch of fights at the AMC Tremont, movie theater. Apparently this was caused by the $4 movie day. They fought inside the theater. They fought in the North End. They fought all over Boston. What kind of tomfoolery is this? This Bush League bullshit needs to stop. Kids need to get it together and do what they need to do. Go out and get a job. You shouldn't be fighting everyone and destroying movie theaters. I mean, even though I'm not the biggest movie guy myself, it's not a good move. So I'm telling the kids of Boston to be better. And what Robbie V is telling you to be better, it's just not good, kids. It's just not good. All right, we're going to move along to some fan mail. All right, the first letter is from, a long distance. It's from Frank in Fresno, California. He writes, "Dear Robbie V, I've been basically, betting a while, and I haven't won any money. And then I, stumbled across your tomfoolery show. And then I saw the lock of the week of USC versus San Jose State. And I wondered, maybe I should take it. Maybe I shouldn't. Well, I ended up taking it, and I ended up putting a bundle on it. Due to this win, Robbie V, I am now able to send my kid to college. Well, Frank from Fresno, I appreciate that. And I hope you continue to, take the lock of the week. I also would discourage you from gambling your son's college fund on that. It's probably not a good thing. All right, next letter. The next and final letter. It's not very complimentary to Robbie V. Dear Robbie V, for God's sake, stop saying because we're all sick of it. Get a better vocabulary. All right, noted, definitely. Also, Robbie V, can we count on you? Are you being an honorable person by constantly promoting Pizza Project and Bone and Bread? Like the comments in last week's show said, are you being bought and paid for? Are you being paid by the number of chicken 65 sandwiches, by the number of views that you get on this? Well, first off, Robbie V is an honorable man. I am. And second of all, I'll answer that. I'm not being paid in chicken 65 sandwiches for every 100 views that I get on this show. I do this for the people, and it's just it's tomfoolery. It's just flipping bullshit. All right, let's go over college football here. Who do I like for week one? The first one is I like Ohio State over Indiana minus 30. Why do I like them? Well, first off, Ohio State has Marvin Harrison Jr. He's an out-of-this-world wide receiver. He runs like the wind, and basically, I think he's going to have a big game. I also think that Indiana, even though they brought in 24 transfers, they're not going to do anything against Ohio State. Ohio State's just too good for this game. Even though Ohio State's on the road, I don't really think this is going to be a big factor. The crowd in Indiana is going to be a big factor. I mean, this game's on at 3:30, right? So, even if they start tailgating at like freaking, 5 in the morning, I don't think it's going to matter. I mean, I might have a lot of inebriated people, but, it's all right. We all make decisions in life, and we all got to live with those decisions. So take Ohio State minus 30 as of right now, and I did research the lines, so they are accurate as of this recording. It's something I should have done last time, but we're going for freaking improvement on this show. We're not trying to, stay at C minus. We'll get to B. Hopefully, the second game I'm going to preview here is UCLA versus Coastal Carolina. Now, I like UCLA this game. They got a good rushing attack, and they're going to be able to take advantage of the Coastal Carolina defense. And why are they going to be able to take advantage of them? Because they were ranked 108th in the country last year. I mean, this defense couldn't stop freaking Mrs. O'Leary's cow in Chicago, who started the Great Chicago Fire. Never mind a college football team. And UCLA is going to pound the rock. They're going to run the fucking ball right down their throat. And finally, Coastal Carolina, they're facing a downgrade in the coaching. They got a new coach. Their coach left them last year, and they lost a lot of offensive linemen due to graduation. So I don't foresee Coastal Carolina really giving UCLA much of a game here. The spread right now, as of this recording, is minus 14.5 in UCLA. And I suggest you go to DraftKings, your local Chuckles, or, Bruno in the North End to take this bet. Thank you. All right. BC versus Northern Illinois. Now, I'm a very big Boston College fan, and I think a lot of people would expect me to say, hey, take BC. I believe it's minus 9 right now. I know it was shifting around. I really can't tell the people to do that for a couple of reasons, which I'll go over. BC offensive line play has been abysmal. They couldn't block a freaking old lady entering Pavetti's. Never mind, the defensive line in front of them. I mean, for God's sakes, these guys could not run on Colgate. Think about that, Colgate. That was a couple of years ago. They couldn't run on anyone last year either. So you know what, people? You got to stare at the facts. And the facts is their quarterback is not Emmett Moorhead. He played some games last year. He looked okay. He didn't look great. But I can't tell you in good faith to back BC. Northern Illinois, they're really in the same spot that Rutgers was in last year. They're coming up to the heights. I don't think the game's going to be sold out. Crowd isn't going to be a factor. I think the weather's going to be fine. BC, if Northern Illinois gets going offensively, and if BC unfortunately plays down to their opponents, which they did a lot last year, it could be a tough game for them. And trust me, I will not be very sober if BC, loses. Well, I mean, I will be sober. Might have a cocktail or two on Saturday night, but you know what I mean. But there is one pick I do have for this game. The under on the total. The total is 50.5. I really can't see BC's offense lighten up the top board, and I really can't see Northern Illinois with all the inexperience they have on the quarterback and the key skill positions lighting it up either. I think that's the play. I think it's just going to be a non-defensive battle, and it's like, what are you going to do? It's life. You gotta deal with it. All right, now, folks, let's talk about the lock of the week. Now, the lock of the week is Oregon State versus San Jose State over 55 points. Now, I believe in this, and that spread is from DraftKings. I believe in this because San Jose State can play quickly. Look, they ran 2 plays a minute last week against USC. They dropped 28 on those bozos, and they'll be up for the game, but they're not gonna win, but they're gonna get their points. And also the Oregon State rushing attack is great. They're gonna beat the freaking San Jose defense to a pulp. They're ready to go, and I think that this is the lock of the week. I think it's gonna be a high scoring game, and over 55.5 is the lock of the week. If you want another bet for this game, I think minus 16.5 versus Oregon State's a good one too. I don't think San Jose State's going to be up for this game at all. I think they're going to be down after losing to USC, and I also think that eventually their defensive line is going to get mauled by Oregon State. Not in a bad way, but they're going to get pushed around, and Oregon State's going to impose their will in the second half. Look, they're going to hit the over total, and Oregon State's going to win by more than 16.5. You can mark it down, folks. I was 3 for 3 with my picks last week, and I hope to bring the people money. Because I'm not making gambling picks to try to bankrupt my viewers. I mean, what kind of fucking tomfoolery is that? All right. Let's see where we are. Oh, wow, we're actually a minute ahead here. I better slow down. All right. The second dope of the day goes to the climate change protesters in Nevada and Germany. Blocking the roads in Nevada was ridiculous. There was a 10-mile backup for these freaking buffoons. And first of all, what those protesters in Nevada did was illegal. And the troopers, they came out in an MVP move, they broke it up, and they allowed the traffic to go. But these guys, you can believe in the climate change all you want, and that's fine. But don't block poor, innocent people from trying to get to the casinos, trying to get to the hospitals, or just trying to get, a 6-pack of beer so they can watch the Week 0 games. There's nothing wrong with that, despite what the Canadian government might say, where they want you to have 2 beers, a week. I mean, that's complete horse shit. But anyway, you got to believe in what you believe in. But you got to protest legally. That's a tip from RBV. It's never a good idea to spend the night in fucking jail. Take it from RBV. You got to believe in my tips of the day sometimes. In full disclosure, I never spent a night in jail, so that's great. Good for me. I'm a solid citizen. The other dope of the day is those climate change protesters in Germany. They did the same thing by blocking roads. They took it a step further. They decided that it was a good idea to, jump on somebody's car while he was driving off. So this is a moronic and dope of the day move for a lot of reasons. Number one, I don't think any cause is worth you potentially going to the hospital in Germany from getting ran over by a bratwurst truck. Is that really worth it, folks? Probably not. I just don't understand. If you're going to protest, make sure you protest right. It's the Rob V tip of the day. All right. We're going to talk about the NFL today. I did have my fantasy draft. I'm not going to bore you about, it went well. But I do have a question for the folks out there who are watching. Do you believe the stupid, ESPN and Yahoo grades? Like, I genuinely wonder about them, whether or not people take them seriously. I mean, I'm projected to finish third in my league, for the ESPN fantasy football, the league that I'm in. And should I take stock in that? I don't know. I don't listen to those ESPN tomfoolery walks. I mean, sure that all they do is, run analytics and do sports. But I hit the lock of the week. I know a lot of shit. All right. Touche. All right. I guess the hot topics in the NFL is like, what are the Patriots doing at quarterback? If you're a Patriots fan right now, Mac Jones is your only quarterback. I know Ben Zappi is on the practice squad and whatnot, but after Ben Zappi's play for during the preseason football, can we really be confident that he's going to be able to move the ball at all? I mean, this guy couldn't move the ball against the Houston Texans. I mean, let's be honest. People in Gillette Stadium are having bigger bowel movements than the Patriots are moving the ball with Ben Zappi as quarterback. I mean, that might be disgusting and gross, but that's the freaking serious. That's the truth, and I'll always bring the truth to the viewers. I hope you had dinner before you watched the show. There's not much more to say than that. I also wonder, what are the Patriots doing about weapons? I understand we got Kendrick Bourne and we have other wide receivers, but we need a top flight guy, a top 20 guy. Mac needs weapons. The guy can't go into a game against Philadelphia Eagles week 1 with a water pistol. I mean, why the Patriots didn't go out and get somebody, I don't know. And I'm sorry, but Juju Schuster, hey, look, he's a good guy. He won me like $70 last year when I had him over on receiving yards in some rando game against KC. But he's not the answer. You need someone to blow the top off the defense. I hope the Patriots find that guy, but I think we're still searching. A popular thing that has been brought up lately in fantasy football is Najee Harris. This guy is going in the first and second round now. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, Najee Harris, I'm sitting here, Robbie V, looking at him because I've had him last year, and this guy is just a freaking plodding running back. He's plodding right into the line. He's so freaking, he can't do anything. And yeah, he can catch a couple passes out of the backfield, but he's so damn touchdown dependent. Can you really go into your season dependent on Najee Harris to bring you home the money or the bacon? Robbie V says no. I mean, he's going to be in a timeshare, with his backup running back who I picked up in my fantasy league. And I honestly think that backup running back, I think his name escapes me right now, but he could be starting because Najee's just going to plod in the freaking line like a Suffolk Downs pony. Shout out Suffolk Downs, rest in peace. I don't think they've ran a race in a couple of years, but that's all right. It was a good track back in the day. Anyway, I don't think Najee's the running back you need to win your fantasy football championship. And if you draft them before the second round, good luck. Let's talk about the Jonathan Taylor situation. Jonathan Taylor right now, he's in the worst possible spot. He's on the PUP list. The Colts aren't able to get him a deal, which that's not good. It's not good at all. Jonathan Taylor, he shouldn't be drafted before the 5th round in fantasy football. I mean, that's just a fact. It's going to take a while for the Colts to deal with him. Number one, because their front office can barely make a fucking cup of coffee. Never mind, try to make an impact trade. And if they think they're getting a 1st round pick for him, good luck. I don't. The Colts aren't dealing with a position of strength. They need to get him out there, sign him to a 1-year deal, like Josh Jacobs did with Las Vegas, and they need to get their team in order. They're not doing anything good over there. And finally, if you draft Jonathan Taylor before the 5th round, Robbie V says you're a wonk and a buffoon. So who wants to be a wonk and a buffoon? So that's the way it is. And also, kudos to Colts management for keeping their mouth shut. It was reported today that the Colts are trying to trade Jonathan Taylor to the Green Bay Packers, which, if you're Green Bay, that makes no effing sense at all. I mean, that's worth the dope of the day. I mean, you got fucking Aaron Jones and you got A.J. Dillon, 2 great running backs. I mean, that tandem has worked out great last year. I don't understand why you're trying to trade for Jonathan Taylor. Even if it was reported, I happen to believe it's true. If it's proven not true in the future, well, hey, that's on me. It's tape delay here, folks. You got to roll with the punches. Anyway, I don't understand what the Colts. I don't understand what the Packers doing. That's worth the dope of the day. They need to look inside in their management team and figure out if they have what it takes to win football games. Because tomfoolery and bullshit like that, you're telling Robbie V not to back you. And when you've lost Robbie V, it's over for you. It's done. Good luck. All right, we're going to talk about the MVPs. We have one MVP today. It's actually local. Hornstra Farms is a local farm in Norwell. They make ice cream, they make milk, they make a bunch of other stuff. It's really good. And shout out Hornstra Farms. I took Victoria there, and and my wife there for the cookie dough ice cream and cookies and cream. It was delicious. Victoria loved it. Walked around. Victoria inspected the place, made sure it was good. And it is on the up and up according to Victoria and Elmo. Sprawled along Elmo. So the reason why the MVP is there's another farm in Whitman. It's along Route 18. It's called Peaceful Meadows. Peaceful Meadows is put up for auction. A lot of people love Peaceful Meadows in Whitman. It's definitely a South Shore thing. And they were going on auction. Hornstra Farms stepped up to the plate, bought them, and they won the bid. So they own Peaceful Meadows now. And now we have two places where we can get Hornstra Farms ice cream potentially. The people love it. South Shore is there's partying in the streets. After I record the show tonight, I have 15 invites to the various block parties, because of Hornstra Farms goodness. It's bringing the people together. Hornstra Farms is making great ice cream and great milk. And they're spanning my waistline. To me, that's just MVP written all over it. And I'm really happy for Hornstra Farms. All right. Let's go to the general moves. General news. I am happy that Hurricane Ida, that all the Minifans, I believe, are safe from the hurricane. Hurricane, we definitely lucked out on that. We lucked out on, for two reasons. Number one, it was moving so fast. It was moving 17 miles an hour because the water in the Gulf is about 88 degrees. And number two, right before it hit, it went through an eye wall replacement cycle, which is basically when a hurricane replaces its eye wall, and it actually weakens during that. So I know there has been many bad damage and whatnot. Obviously, my heart goes out and thoughts and prayers go up to northern Florida, but I think we kind of lucked out where it could have been a lot worse. And I'm glad that was it Wags and McFuss Daddy are doing good. Talked to them both today, so it's good. But now, folks, we're gonna get to the long-awaited segment. Jesus Christ. We're going to get into the wonk of the week. We actually have 3 wonks of the weeks. The first wonk of the week is the Boston Red Sox. If you're a Red Sox fan right now, you should be absolutely fucking pissed for a number of reasons. Number one, I'm sorry, but letting that pitcher Kyle take the beating after Chris Sale only went 4 1/3 on Monday is just an absolute fucking joke. Basically, they just let the Kyle. His name escapes it. I probably can't even pronounce it. So, what are you gonna do? Letting him just give up 9 runs, I believe it was, and let him take the beating and lose 13-4. It's just ridiculous. And also, Chris Sale hasn't done anything good for us lately. He's a shell of himself. It's such a bad look just letting that guy take the beating. You have the most expensive seats in some of the most expensive seats in Major League Baseball. It basically just said you don't care. We're in the wild card race. We need to pass Houston to actually get in the postseason, and for us to get dropped like that is just a joke. And I understand you can save the bullpen and whatnot, and it wasn't our night. Well, that's fucking bullshit because we lost. We did save the bullpen, and then we ended up losing the 2 games after that, including today. The Red Sox 7-4. Bob V's. I'm not about this Red Sox tomfoolery. They're not going anywhere this year. They have to look in the mirror, and I don't know. It's going to be a while before I go into Fenway to buy a Fenway Frank. Our second wonk of the week involves Rafael Acuna, Ronald Acuna Jr. Ronald Acuna Jr. was just out there. He was playing baseball out in Colorado, and he was just doing his thing, And what I couldn't believe was 2 fans thought it was a fucking smooth idea to walk up to him and obviously try to talk to him, and he ended up getting knocked over. And this is during the game. I just question the thought process here. What were they thinking? Were they going to exchange freaking kitchen recipes, for God's sakes? Were we going to talk about family and stuff? It's I'm surprised Ronald didn't take a damn swing. He probably could have beat both these jokers' asses, and good for him for not. But I can't endorse this wonk behavior. Number one, take it from Rob V, who's actually surprisingly never been thrown out of a professional sports stadium in his life. Don't go on the field. It's really not that hard, And if you're that intoxicated where you think going on the field's a good idea, then just go take a piss and think about it again. Because It's just garbage. And to those two fans, I hope you spent the night. I mean, I know you spent the night in jail. I mean, I hope it was worth it. And all the legal fees and bullshit and tomfoolery. And lastly, your mom and dad, they're not happy with you. So what are you gonna do? The last wonk of the week is Sean Convery. He is a man who participated in a fantasy football league, according to Boston.com, and he was forced to, when he finished in last place, wear a duck suit on the Boston Duck tours for 12 hours a day, for 12 hours, because he came in last. This guy needs to, number one, be a better fantasy football player. Number two, I don't know who like reached out to who or whatever on this, but if I came in last in my fantasy football league and I was like had to wear a duck suit, I probably wouldn't be contacting the Boston Globe on this. That's just me. Like, it's like attention like I just don't need in life. It's the way I look at it. And I mean, he should be reached out for the Boston Globe for better accomplishments in his life rather than this fucking walk behavior. And also, the Boston Globe should realize finally that nobody really cares what it's like to ride around Boston, in a duck suit for 12 hours. I mean, we all got jobs, we all got shit to do. I mean, that's just bad reporting about the Boston Globe. So they're wonk of the week too. It's not something normal people do. All right. So next week, what we're gonna have is we're gonna, college football picks. We're gonna have more letters. We're also gonna have NFL Patriots preview. And if any other Minute fans want me to preview their team, shoot me a DM and I'll gladly do it. I just want to say thank you to the viewers and for coming along for the ride. And I will say that, for saying so much during the holidays, I will make a $50 donation to a charity of the viewer's choice. Because, it's the right thing to do. Anyway, this is RBV wishing you a good evening and signing off. Have a good one.